Hello everyone. Producers screaming. Birthday surprise. Blocked CBS nightmare. Whether the world is collapsing on the brink of destruction or facing imminent death, I can imagine Meghan enjoying being a queen for the last second. She lives and dies to gain attention. But what she has is not fame but scandal. No one loves or respects her. It's all Meghan's illusion. It's truly a nightmare that's hard to wake up from. That was supposed to be a really special day, since it was supposed to be Meghan's birthday surprise so that she could surprise all of her devoted followers. A day that also serves to reintroduce the royal couple, who are, as I should point out, former royals, the Sussexes, to a larger, more wild, and more expansive stage. At this moment, it appears that we are addressing the blowback on social media, which is the kind of bullying that occurs online. The fact that this was, of course, their great return makes it really fascinating to think about. The fact that Prince Harry appeared to be so detached from this situation was quite surprising to me, as I have mentioned to you previously. However, this transpired in the background of the action. Just a short while ago, more than a week and a half ago. This was the most important thing, wasn't it? I say exactly what I just said. The fact that Meghan was going to make this enormous and dramatic reappearance on her birthday, regardless of what she claims it to be, comes as no surprise. A conversation with Jane Pauley on CBS, and, as you probably already know, it was a failure. It seems to me that the steam has finally run out. It is the blowback that people desire, and what they genuinely like from Harry and Meghan that we are talking about. These are the individuals who they are assaulting, whether it be through People magazine, interviews, or other similar forms of communication. Whenever you think about it, it's very intriguing. But then, this came to light when we brought attention to the fact that, behind the scenes, people were having a bit of a breakdown, yelling at the producers, and doing all of that kind of thing. Having said that, let me to explain the operation of television to you. Behind the scenes of a major event such as that, you may have a core group of individuals who work for that particular channel. CBS, this is something that you might have. After that, you will have a large number of freelancers, sometimes known as stringers. The term "they" is used to refer to them in the United Kingdom. They would all sign non-disclosure agreements, NDAs. In addition to everything else, they are not permitted to speak out. But what's funny is that when you're a freelancer and you're not quite sure when you're going to receive your next work, then people do divulge all sorts of information. On YouTube, this is something that you should take into consideration. This is due to the fact that there are plenty of reductions in the television industry at the moment, particularly in mainstream media, and this is the case regardless of whether you are in Australia, Japan, India, or any other country, because of one and only one reason. Television is being scaled back. It is no longer necessary to have all of these individuals because of the new digital technologies. To add insult to injury, the amount of money made from advertisements has dropped precipitously all across the world. Therefore, whether you are working on anything significant, such as an interview with the President of the United States, or it is certain that there will be times when individuals may divulge information. Such instances can occur at any time. On that specific set, however, they are actually marked, if you get what I'm saying. This is where things start to get very interesting. Therefore, they are terrified because if they do talk to anybody and that information is passed on, then it is possible that they will not be hired for any more television programs. That is what you understand. A number of other significant aspects, particularly when you are just beginning your professional life and you are still quite young. But I can attest to the fact that things did not proceed as planned. On the other hand, things were not precisely the same as they appeared to be when they were not being filmed. However, it is important to note that this is a somewhat planned and controlled product that Harry and Meghan are attempting to put out there. I believe that he emerged from it in the best possible way, becoming a little bit more calm and collected. And when he met those folks, it seemed as though he had a stronger connection than Meghan, who was always hunting for the eyeline of the primary lens. In fact, the relationship between Harry and Meghan was unfair and unequal from the beginning. At first, Harry was Meghan's prey, lured by her with deadly sweet poison. When Harry exposed the pit, he was no longer sober, argues with his family, and was determined to marry Meghan. And now he is Meghan's loyal servant. Perhaps it is more correct that Harry will go everywhere to see where there are lenses and cameras, then drag Meghan to the center position so that the next day she can be in a few tabloids. It's funny, isn't it, when they said they wanted safety and privacy. Does anyone want to slap these shameless liars in the face? If you feel angry and resentful towards this couple, comment number 1 and vice versa. If you feel there is no problem with this couple, comment number 2. As for me, definitely number 1. Return. It would appear that CBS is prepared to conduct a follow-up in order to determine the specific nature of the fresh new incentive that has been implemented, despite the fact that they have had meltdowns behind the scenes. But as of yet, and I can tell you this, as I always have, and as we always have to say, we have to say that the team has not yet actually gotten back to say when they want to regroup, and I can confidently say that this is the case. It would appear that the corporation CBS would like to get this completed by the end of the year, which would be something along the lines of taking a 4-month or 5-month break from the project. Take a look at how this kind of incentive is used. After all, they did show some interest in it. I am curious as to what the problem might possibly be. More significantly, why is there such a lack of sound? The tale is still unfolding, as it always is. If I learn more, then you will also learn more. It was shown at the very center of Hyde Park, which is a magnificent park. You know, a few years ago, when we first heard about Harry and Meghan, I immediately thought of the success of Grace Kelly marrying Prince Rainier. Her adopted country loved her. When Meghan kissed Harry, they both disappointingly turned into toads. They were toadstools all along. We were led to believe he was a mushroom because he was a fun guy. It seems that Harry acts like Meghan's robot and simply does what she tells him to do. We've all given up on Harry. He needs to be deprogrammed. She's taken lessons on how to be a cult leader. Harry's brain has always been programmed with jealousy of William, thinking that acting up is cute and adorable, and the palace tweaked his deplorable behavior to make him look that way. The Oprah Winfrey interview was needed to peel his PR and show the world just how despicable he is, and herself as well along the way. Narcissists believe themselves to be the most important person of all and essentially need a stooge to support their presentation on stage. So thus the importance of Harry, her only connection to someone with notoriety, and her stooge. Certainly, no one wants to look at those two, and definitely not listen to their preaching. They don't have a clue what they're talking about, only in front of the cameras because of who they are. In my opinion, it was an infomercial to get government money in their Archewell account. They don't even pretend they care anymore. Just do the bare minimum and run with the money. I find it ironic that Harry and Meghan want to tackle online bullying, seeing as they are the ones condoning it from their sewer squad members. I wish someone had filmed Meghan's screaming fit and aired it either right after that interview or just shared it with someone who then made it public. Harry had his own meltdown before the interview when Jane Pauley refused to address him by his Royal Highness title, the one he lost when they left the royal family. Thankfully, CBS stood by her decision. Everything they do together, or on her own, is an absolute car crash. I still can't understand why CBS would want anything more to do with them is beyond me. It's like flogging a dead horse. Harry gave up everything for this? Wake up, man. You could still make something decent on your own. Clearly, Harry's clueless about doing anything on his own. He grew up within the institution of the monarchy, went into the controlled and regimented environment of the military, then into a new married life, allegedly controlled by his wife. I think he is ripe pickings for any cult. Meghan had her hand on his knee at the interview, not wanting him to say anything. She doesn't tell him to say, it's control, he's a simp. The CBS interview was hilarious. She didn't look happy, he looked incensed, and Pauley cast shade in a glorious, subtle way. Too funny, Jane Pauley was absolutely trolling Meghan. She captured it all. Harry's sulking, Meghan's death stare, and Duper's delight. Gloriously subtle. And Pauley, the Harkles looked awful physically, and Harry looked stoned, in my opinion. Their behavior was strange, and you could see the tension between them. Meghan's nasty faces said it all, as Harry told the Queen what Meghan wants. Meghan gets, nothing has changed. This is the linchpin to all of their unsuccessful endeavors. They're their own worst enemies. Harry said to Meghan, "I hate it when people all act intellectual when they talk about Mozart while they have never seen one of his paintings. Like any other industry, the media world is insular. People talk. If you want PR opportunities, you don't scream at the TV producers. I'm talking to you, Meghan Markle. I don't think there will be a follow-up show. Why? Because they wouldn't have done anything. Isn't this the initiative they were talking about last year, when Meghan was wearing the toilet roll? Then, they alleged that they'd been working with parents for 1 year. So, by now, they would have been working with them for 2 years. And yet still, they could only dredge up about 4 or 5 sets of parents to a launch. Yet still, they have nothing specific to add to this discussion. No possible solutions. Nothing if they really had been working with these parents. Harry and Meghan would be able to discuss specific issues that these parents would have brought up. You know, tons of case studies, tons of examples of real practical measures parents can try, tons of examples of practical measures that have worked for some, even tons of examples of measures that have failed. But no, nothing. That's why I do not believe that they work with any parents about online bullying. And that's why I hope these poor bereaved parents run like the wind from any organization connected to Harry and 43%. Well, thank you very much for watching our video. Don't forget to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Also, I'm still waiting for you to share your thoughts on this issue. Write your views in the comments section below. Now, goodbye and see you again.